Whoa. How you doing, South Aiken? This is Mr. Burns here. I come to discuss a couple of things with you that we need to address for the second semester. Now, the first semester I think went okay, went well. We started off strong, but we did not continue that throughout the whole semester. So at the beginning of this semester, we want to touch on a couple of details that we want to make sure you know that we are going to emphasize. So if you're not paying attention, I suggest you stop what you're doing, because whether you pay attention to this video or not, you will be held accountable. All right. First thing that we're going to talk about is tardies. Now, at the beginning of the second semester, the number of tardies that you have will start over. They will start over. So everyone here will be starting off with a clean slate. Now, it's up to you to keep that clean slate. Now, if you look in the Code of Conduct, it talks about the number of tardies. Certain number of tardies require us to give you ISS. And if you notice, it says 1 to 3 days. First semester, we were very nice, generous. We gave you 1 day ISS, then 1 day ISS, then 1 day ISS. Won't happen this time. We will be going strictly by the tardy policy. If it says 1 day, you'll get 1 day. 2 days, you're going to get those 2 days. 3 days, you're going to get those 3 days. So make sure you abide by that policy. Also, when you get to 42 total tardies, you will be reporting directly to ISS for the remainder of the day. 42 total, remainder of the day. So please get to class on time. What's considered tardy? Am I tardy if I go drop my book bag off in class and tell my teacher I'm going to the bathroom? Yeah, you're tardy. 2 reasons. 1, when the tardy bell stops ringing, you're not in the class, you are considered tardy. Whether you came in class and left does not matter. You are considered late. Secondly, you don't tell the teacher you're going to the restroom. All right, you can ask, and if you're going to be late, they are to tell you no. The teachers are not permitted to let you go to the restroom the first 5 minutes of class and the last 5 minutes of class. You are to be in the classroom at that time. First 5 minutes of class, last 5 minutes. You are to be in class. So if you ask them, they say no, don't get an attitude. They are doing what they were asked to do. So you're tardy if you drop your book bag off, leave, and come back and that bell has rang, you are tardy. Also, you are tardy, and this is the official tardy policy for our school. If that bell stops ringing, if it stops ringing and you are not in the class, you are late. Now, we're going to move for a second here. I want you to see this. The bell stops ringing, and it says ring, and it stops, and I'm standing right here. Door, me, late, tardy station. Ring, door, me, late, tardy station. All right? Now, right here, bell stops ringing now. Stops ringing now. Look where I'm at. Door, the bell stops ringing. Am I tardy? Answer. You right. Yes, I am tardy. Door, ring, stops ringing. I'm standing here. Tardy. Okay? Door, I'm inside the class. The bell stops ringing. Ring, tardy? No. Now, I know what's going to happen. Some of y'all going to test the water. And you're going to come in here and say, oh, I was right here when the bell stopped ringing. That's a judgment call on your teacher. In other words, if your teacher says you were late, you were not all the way in from what she heard or he heard, you are tardy. It is their call. Point being, get in the classroom and have a seat before the bell stops ringing. Don't just try and make it in. You have plenty of time. So don't come in there saying, oh, I was right there at the door. I was all the way in the door. As soon as the bell stopped, my foot was in. The teacher said you was late. You are late. Understand that. All right? Now, I'm doing this video, so you'll see it. You can rewind it. You can look at it several times. Because when it comes and when it happens, we're not going to discuss this in my office. Hall passes. I'm going to read this off because I want to make sure I get this right, because we will discuss this. All students must have a hall pass written. And can you show the word written right there? That word written must have a hall pass written by the teacher on South Aiken, issued pass both during class and power hour if you're on the hallways during power hour. Okay, now the reason why the word written is highlighted, because we have some passes that we used to have around here saying hall pass. We're no longer accepting those. If you're in the hall with one of those plastic passes, that's unacceptable. If it's so important for you to be out of class, then the teacher needs to write you a pass to go wherever you need to go to after the first 5 minutes of class and before the last 5 minutes of class. It needs to be written down. If it's not written, we're going to send you back to that class to get a pass, or write you up for cutting. One of the two, because you're not in class without a pass. So not only are you holding yourself accountable to have a pass, you need to talk to your teacher and say, oh, go ahead on. Nah, don't fall for that. Get your pass, then you can go in the hallway. Has to be written. Passes that's laminated and stuff, no, written. Because we want to have the date and the time on there. Because some of y'all get a pass, and I know how it goes, and you walk to the other end of the building to say you're going to the restroom, and I can sit there and watch you on camera, and you never go to the restroom. So it needs to be written with the date and the time on there. And teachers, take it up when they come back. Students won't be allowed in the hallway during power hour without a South Aiken written pass. In other words, when that bell rings, that 5-minute bell rings, again, you are not allowed in the hall unless you have a pass. The only time you're allowed in the hall without a pass is if you go into the cafeteria. This is nothing new. This has been enforced the whole time. You go from one class to another, you need to have a pass. You go get your lunch to come to the power hour and the bell has ring, you need to have a pass. You only in the hallways during power hour, you have to have a pass. Written pass. Say the word written with me. Yeah. See, you're not paying attention, you better wake up. 5 and 5 rule I already talked about. First 5 minutes of the class, last 5 minutes of the class, and then we also have the 15-minute rule, the last 15 minutes at the end of the school day. So from 3:15 to 3:30, there should be no one in the hall but the assistant principals and the hall monitors. That's it. Everybody else should be in the class. And teachers that's on planning period, of course. But other than that, you should be in class. So that's what I want to cover with you today. That's what I want to cover. I want to cover the hall passes and the tardies. Now, if you have any questions and you don't think something right, again, watch the video, read the code of conduct, because it's all in there, and I'm not going to change that. All right? So don't let me see you in my office because of those two reasons. Now, I want to introduce my colleague here, Mr. Hudson. He's going to talk to you about a couple of things. Now, you have to listen very closely, because Mr. Hudson, a lot of knowledge. A lot of knowledge. All right?
Mr. Barnes, thank you for that kind introduction. I wanted to cover with you very simply, dress code. 3 items, holes in jeans. There should be no holes, cuts, rips, tears above the knee. Very cut and dried, very simple. That is the case for both men and women of South Aiken High School. Hats and hoods. I know it's cold outside, and I oftentimes will wear a hat, I wear hoodies. But once we step inside the building, hats and hoods should come off again for both men and women. One of the other things that is becoming problematic, earbuds. Only one earbud or earphone in one ear. That is all that's permitted inside the buildings. particularly inside the buildings. There have been many times where I've called students, Mr. Burns called students in the hallway, you can't hear because you've got your hood on and you've got 2 earbuds in. 1 earbud only inside the halls, and that is actually during time when it's permitted, during class change time. Make sure that you're doing those things. Let me back up also. If you are stopped for a dress code violation by an administrator or a teacher, they ask your name, you give them your name, and then you report to the office so the dress code violation can be recorded. If you do not do that, if you refuse to do that, at that point, it's not a simple dress code violation anymore. It is refusal to obey. And according to the code of conduct, at that point, that violation has now become stiffer and the consequence will become harsher as well. Student ownership of the school. This is our house. This is the place where we come to learn and we come to spend time and accompany each other. Folks, let's keep our place, our house, let's keep it clean. If you wouldn't do it at your house, don't do it here. Let's keep the trash picked up in all areas of the school, whether it's classrooms, hallways, commons, or courtyard. Help us keep your school, your place clean. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our school. I take pride in this school. I pick up trash, I help to keep the school clean, and the expectation is no less than for you to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the information that we need to work on for the second quarter, for the second semester. Administrators, teachers across the board, and classmates. South Aiken students, keep your classmates accountable for this. Hold them accountable for this. Help us to help you to have a great school.